The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello everyone, welcome into Marc Madness Sports on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I'm Marc Carstens, the host of Marc Madness Sports, joined today by Sun Prairie West Boys football, basketball, and baseball players, Casey Wambach and Tyler Haney. First off, Casey, Tyler, how are you guys today? And excited to talk some Sun Prairie sports, Wolf sports with you guys.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited.
Doing pretty good. Excited too.
All right, awesome. Well, let's recap the high school football season in 2024. I know it was kind of a rough one for you guys. 1-8 season in 2024. The win came in week 7 versus Fort Atkinson. I felt like you guys really did better down the stretch. You had more competitive games. You were very competitive with DeForest through 3 quarters. I know kind of that fourth quarter got a little out of control, and I believe there were 2 pick sixes thrown by Peyton Vandersteeg. And obviously that one kind of got away at the end. The last game against Oregon was pretty competitive for a lot of it. Your defense did pretty well, only gave up 26 points, so you guys did a solid job, I thought, on the defensive side. Obviously just didn't get the points up on the board to quite keep up with Oregon. But I feel like those last 3 games, there were some things where you guys can look at and say, yeah, we did improve as the season went on.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a you thing, Tyler, 'cause you were there for the whole season.
Yeah, so I would definitely agree that like the final stretch of our season was a lot better and everything was going like a lot more smoothly, I would say. And like obviously through the start of the season, like we weren't really scoring a whole lot, and then our defense wasn't really doing the greatest either. But we made a few changes, and I think that helped our season out a lot at the end of the season, going into the next season for the underclassmen.
Well, yeah, thank you for sharing about that. Casey, I know in the latter half you got to play some. Your first varsity experience was against DeForest. That was the first game you were eligible to play in.
Yep.
You had a good game in that game. You had, I believe, 6 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown in that one. That was actually probably your best game. What was that like? You know, playing varsity football for you played 3 games and did pretty well in your little limited action of varsity football.
Yeah, that was my first ever football experience. I never played football before that, so Tyler and Oliver sort of helped convince me to come out, and I was excited to play, and it was a really cool experience. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, well, that was fantastic, and I was happy to see you play because I know you're a great athlete and know that obviously you're a great shortstop. That's kind of your big thing, and then you're also played a lot of basketball throughout your years and have done well there as a wing guard. But yeah, I had a great season. 9 catches, 146 yards, 1 touchdown. I don't know if you realized you had those stats, but 3 games. So
yeah, it was a fun experience. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, so no, thanks for sharing. Maybe what was your favorite part of the whole experience? Getting to play those 3 games, getting to experience a little bit of Wolves football in 2024. What was your favorite part?
Yeah, it was definitely in the DeForest game. Probably just getting to experience playing with the whole team, and like Tyler and like I said, Oliver, those are like my 2 best friends at West, so getting to be able to play with them and put on the pads was pretty fun.
No, that's awesome. And Tyler, you did some nice things in the season, 10 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving, and then rushing. You were actually the leading rusher on the Wolves. I just was looking that up today. 56 carries for 298 yards, and then 2 games as a quarterback, you completed 15 of 20 passes for 92 yards. So kind of hearing some of those stats back, how does that feel? You actually had 2 tackles on defense as well.
It was, I guess, the 2 games of quarterback, or at least the game at the start of the season was a little scary because, I mean, Peyton was just out from our first game of the season, and I was going into the season thinking I was the only play running back, and then next game against Catholic Memorial, I started at quarterback, so it was a fun experience, though. I really liked it, and I felt after like the first little bit, I felt really confident, and I felt calm playing quarterback, and then just felt like it was the right spot for the rest of the season as a Wildcat quarterback, and then playing running back also.
Well, no, thanks for sharing, Tyler, and maybe to share a little bit with the listeners about Peyton Vandersteeg. In that first game, he got hurt. I believe he fell into a bleacher, is what I heard, and then cut a part of his foot got cut. Was that my understanding? Something got cut.
I think it was his
elbow. Or was it elbow?
Yeah,
elbow got cut. elbow got cut and then on a bleacher. And I know they it didn't sound like the best safety situation over at Janesville Craig, because you guys were on the road at Janesville Craig, and it sounded like the bleachers were kind of close to the field.
They were a little close to the field, but I don't know. I don't think anybody was really expecting something like that would happen on the first game of the season.
I mean, I know, kind of a freak accident situation, so it's hard for us to say, should Janesville Craig make a change in their, their field safety, I mean, maybe that's something maybe they can think about throughout this off season. But anyway, maybe going back to some of the season here. Well, Peyton Vandersteeg, he did some nice things on the season, but he also maybe has some areas to improve upon this off season. 85 of 160 pass attempts, or completed 85 of 160 pass attempts, so a 53.1% completion, 902 yards, 7 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's really the big one, I think, for Peyton Vandersteeg, where he's going to look back and say, boy, I got to improve upon the 12 interceptions. I can't do that, because otherwise, that's going to hurt my team next year. I bet that's the big learning curve for Peyton Vandersteeg, is maybe don't force it so much into the ball into certain situations, tight windows, because I think a few times maybe he did that. And again, this was his first full year of being a varsity quarterback, so he's going to learn those things and get better. But I think that's maybe one area where he'll look at next year and say, I got to eliminate those interceptions next year.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But I think he will. I mean, I know Peyton. I think he's going to improve upon that. I think he's going to learn from probably some of those turnovers, and he's going to look back at film and see how he had some of those interceptions, and look back and say, okay, yeah, I can't throw, those type of throws in those situations. I mean, think about it. Even in the NFL, Jordan Love made a throw a few weeks ago where he threw it where he definitely shouldn't have, and it ended up being a pick six. So, I mean, it even happens in the pros. So, but what did you think of Peyton Vandersteeg's season? Maybe, Tyler, I know you were kind of up closer with him throughout the whole season as a whole. I mean, obviously there were some positives. I mean, 7 touchdown passes, 902 yards throwing. I mean, he did some positive things throughout the year.
I would say, I would feel like I had a pretty good connection with him, just talking with him, and obviously from him being out, I had to go talk to him, ask him questions about playing quarterback, and I felt like he gave me good explanations on what I was going to have to do. So I just think the whole going from a JV quarterback to varsity and just the different experiences he had really shocked him. And I think just next year, just keep going through, working on himself will help him a lot in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe, Tyler, what was your favorite experience, maybe best part of playing with the Wolves in 2024? What was maybe your favorite moment?
I would say just making new connections with people that I wouldn't really expect to make connections with. Because I felt like football I was really close with a lot of the guys on the team, and I wasn't really expecting to get as close as I was with them. So I think just the friendships I've made with a lot of people on the team is the best part of the season.
And maybe Tyler or Casey, maybe share a little bit about Chase Rollins. He really kind of burst onto the scene as the season went on. Actually kind of became your leading rusher for a while, and then, Tyler, you surpassed him ultimately, but 52 carries for 204 yards, 1 touchdown. I thought he had some really nice moments, especially in that East-West game. He had a really good game that night in that particular one rushing.
Yeah, I really like Chase. I joined late, but when we played DeForest, he had a nice game too. He scored there too. I feel like he runs really hard, and he's a nice kid. I like him a lot.
I totally agree. I think also how he also started on defense when Grant Johns got hurt and he didn't play. So I think him playing both ways of the ball and still being able to do, as you said, 200 rushing yards is still pretty crazy. And I like him a lot as a person also.
And I think next year he's going to get more opportunity because, I mean, he's only, I believe, he's either a junior or sophomore? Junior.
Yeah.
So he's got another year yet, so he still has next year to prove some things to the Wolves program. And same with Peyton Vandersteeg. They both are juniors, so they both get another opportunity next year to learn and grow and maybe lead the Wolves to a couple extra wins than what was had this year. Maybe anything else you guys want to share about the Wolves football season? Maybe recapping it. Obviously, you had the nice win there against Fort Atkinson. I mean, it's a good moment. I mean, just getting that win, it probably feels good.
You can go first.
Yeah, I would just say, I wasn't able to be there for the whole season, but I'm really glad I went out and I thank the coaches for letting me come out, and then the players for being so welcoming when I did. And it was a really nice experience, and I'm glad I got to do it.
I would say just like the coaching staff in general as people, I think were a big part of why I wanted to stick with football, because I felt like I really had a good connection with a lot of the coaches that I was with, like during the practices and like I talked to during the games. I felt like I got a really good bond with all of them.
And I know Josh real well, so your head coach, Josh O'Connor, and he's a great guy, really, really great guy, and also a teacher too, so definitely I'm sure you guys love playing for him.
Yeah.
Let's get on to basketball. This will be fun to talk about. Well, I'm excited about the Wolves basketball season for you guys. I really am. I think you guys are going to finish top 2 in conference. I think you guys have a really quality team. I mean, obviously you guys are going to be leaders of it, both you, Tyler, and Casey, and then also I think both Crawfords are going to play huge roles, Trey and Tavion. I'm excited to see what both of them can do for you guys. I mean, you 4 are going to be the leaders of the Wolves basketball team, and what do you guys think about this upcoming year? Do you think you can win conference? I mean, I think you guys are going to be right in the mix.
Yeah, I'm really excited personally, and I think we have a really good group, and we lost some pieces. Obviously, Chris, who's a great player, and will be a big loss, but it'll be a time for us to step up and sort of learn how to play like within the 4 of us and the rest of the team. I'm excited. I think we can compete with the whole Big 8, and I think we can win it.
I totally agree with what Casey said. I feel like a lot of people are thinking it's going to be like a really bad year for us just because Chris is gone. I mean, it is going to hurt having 42 points a game, like leading the country or nation in scoring is leaving, and then it's just, I think it'll be a whole different dynamic of our team, but I think we're going to do really good.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, I love both the Crawfords, and I love you guys. So, I mean, I believe in you 4 guys, that you guys can get this team into a really good place. And, well, I kind of wanted to talk about Chris Davis Jr. a little bit. It's going to be interesting, you guys facing him now twice a year instead of having him on your team. What is that experience going to be like, seeing him on the other side of town in an East Cardinal jersey for basketball, and you guys seeing him twice a year in the regular season? That's probably going to be kind of strange for you guys a little bit.
Yeah, it will be. And at the end of the day, like I'm really good friends with Chris, and I want him to succeed. So at the end of the day, it's a friendship. But during the game, it's going to be competitive and on both sides, just like it always has been. With our other best friends going there, like Max, both the Maxes, Glusick and Raymer, and then Tristan as well. So it'll be competitive, but also at the end of the day, it's still friendly, and we're all friends. So, but I'm excited to see it.
I'm really excited too for it. Like I want to see how because now their dynamic of their team is going to be a lot different with adding Chris to the team. So I think there will be a lot of different pieces in our game against each other, but I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, Casey, maybe what are you most looking forward to in this 2024 Sun Prairie West Wolves basketball season? You got 23 games scheduled on the regular season right now. It could be more than that because you got some tournaments that could turn into more games than that, but. First game will be actually at Germantown is what I saw. So in a tournament game. So.
Yeah, and we played them in summer league. They're a solid team too. But I'm probably most excited to play East. That's always my favorite game for all sports. In the basketball game, I mean, they're always competitive. Last year, we lost 86-85, and then we won 71-74 or something like that. Like both the games were one possession games. It doesn't matter really who's playing. It's going to be competitive. So. I'm excited for that. And to just show who we are compared to last year, like that we can still compete at the highest level.
I totally agree. I mean, I think obviously it's our favorite game is going to, everybody on our team's favorite game is going to be against Sun Prairie East because it's the most packed gym against our friends that like we've known since we were really little. But I think it'll just be fun to play against anybody and just show everybody who we are.
You guys are probably going to be, and both you guys are probably going to be near the top of this conference. Although I don't want to discredit Verona and Middleton. Those two teams are going to be real tests as well, and especially Verona. I have a lot of respect for their team, and obviously they really came on last year. And what do you guys think about Verona, especially Trey Poteet? Boy, that kid's special. I've seen him play football and basketball, and boy, that kid can do some special things. And even on the basketball court, I mean, you guys faced him in the playoffs last year, and I think he scored about 28, 29 points against the Wolves. He's a great player.
He is, yeah.
I would say, like, obviously Verona is a really good program, I'm not sure. I think Trey's going to Tennessee early, so I don't know if he's going to be able to play basketball for sure yet. But obviously they still have Drew, who's going to Northern Michigan, Kamar, Bennett. They have Cam. They have like all a really good core group of players still. So I think it'll be a hard game, and I just think we're going to have to play really well.
Yeah, we played them last year. We beat them all 3 times last year, but they were all competitive games. But we know how to beat them, and so I think we can beat them again both times this year, or maybe in the playoffs for a 3rd time.
But I'd like to see Trey Petit. I mean, just like you guys, I'd like to see Trey Petit play basketball. He's fun to watch. I mean, he's a fun player to watch, just like you guys are fun to watch, and Chris Jr. and I just like to see the best players out on the court. So I hope he's out for basketball. But yeah, we'll see about that if he goes to Tennessee early. But Tyler, maybe anything you want to share about this season, maybe for the Wolves? Maybe let's talk. Both of you guys maybe can share about your new coach, Coach Jay Swanson. So this will be his first year coaching your basketball team. Obviously, he's had experience coaching basketball. He's been the JV coach now, I believe, for a couple years for girls basketball here for Sun Prairie West. He knows the program very well. Obviously, his son, you know very well through baseball. Maybe share a little bit about Jay Swanson.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten too close to them just because this summer I had a lot of baseball, so I wasn't able to go to a lot of basketball. But I talked to him last year, and I see him around the school. He's a really nice guy, and I like both his sons, Josh and Ryan. And so I think he's a great guy, and he's a good leader, like as it comes to the whole program, like staying organized. So that's always something that's nice, and I think he's really excited just as much as we are.
I think it would be a really good season. And I've only been with him for a little bit, just for the summer league stuff, and we only had 4 tournaments that we had really played in, a few summer league games. But I think I liked how he was coaching us in the summer, and just want to see how it'll go into the season.
And maybe I want to share with you guys some players in this Big 8 conference. Who do you think probably will win this Big 8 conference player of the year? Do you think it is going to be Chris Davis Jr.? Or could you see it being someone like Will Garlick, or if Trey Petit comes out, Trey Petit, or one of you guys, Casey or you, Tyler, winning this conference player of the year? I mean, but what do you guys think?
I would obviously say again, 42 points last year with Chris. We can only see what he's going to do this year, but I also think Will Garlick's going to be a really, really big problem with just his height, and the only other school with a really big like that is Janesville Craig. So I don't know. I think those two will have a good matchup with it, but anything could happen.
Yeah, I would agree. Like I said earlier, we're all really good friends with Chris, so I mean, this is his sport. That's who I would pick if I was betting on it or anything like that.
I think it'd be hard to argue not against Chris Davis Jr. just with, as we said, his 42 points per game and some of the other things he can do. I mean, I think you guys have seen him as teammates. I mean, he can do a lot more than just score 42 points. He can rebound. He can play defense. I mean, he can do other things too. It's not he's not purely just a scorer. He's got other skills too.
Yeah.
As you guys have seen up close, but maybe anything else you guys want to share about the season? Maybe those games against Verona too, and Middleton. I mean, you're going to face them twice as well. So
yeah, the Verona games are almost just like the East games. They're packed. The gym's packed. It's super competitive. We all know each other by now, and it's a really cool environment, especially in regionals. When we won the regionals last year, the gym was packed, and I think we scored somewhere in the hundreds. It was a high-scoring game, and it was back and forth. They had the lead at halftime, I remember, but we were able to hold it down. So it's just going to be about. We've all been there now. It'll be our 3rd year for all the East guys, all the Verona guys, all of us. We're all going to be experienced. So it's going to be really come down to who's better now.
I would say it's just going to be fun again, because I think even as us as freshmen, I think Verona and Middleton were both really hard-fought games. So just all of our years from freshman to senior year, I think they'll all be really good games.
Yep.
But Tyler, Casey, maybe I feel like there's a big 4 teams in this conference this next year. I think it's both Sun Prairie schools, Sun Prairie East, Sun Prairie West, and then Middleton, Verona. Is there a team outside of those 4 that you think has any chance to compete for the Big 8 conference title? Do you think Janesville Craig is a team that's outside of those 4 that could push you guys a little? I mean, any of those four teams you guys bet.
I think La Follette and Madison West will both be pretty good. Those would be my other two predictions on who will compete. Like, those are going to be really tough games, too. I mean, they're all tough games. Every game in the Big Eight's tough. You never really know what's going to happen. So, but those would be my two that would be right with us.
I would definitely agree with those two teams. I think La Follette had a really young team last year. I have a feeling they all play with each other. Same with Madison West. So I think those two will be pretty tough teams this year.
And I know Madison West has a really good player. I believe Michael Wilson, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
I know he's talented. He could be one of the better players in this Big 8 conference for this 2024-2025 season. So there's going to be some good competition. I'm excited to see it. But I guess record prediction for you guys for the Wolves with the 23 games. I'm going to go 17-6. That's going to be my prediction for you guys for the Wolves basketball. But what do you think of that prediction?
I like it. That's a fair prediction. Mine, I think we're gonna go 20-3. I think we're gonna have a really good year. I think we're gonna. I mean, I don't want to say this and then it comes back to fire on me, but I think we're gonna beat East both times, and that's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. I would totally agree with what Casey said. Like, I think we're gonna have a really good season. I think all the guys are gonna get along really well together, which is like a main thing that I think we should focus on, and I just think we're gonna be a lot better than a lot of people think we are.
Yeah, I think 17-6, 18-5. I'm just somewhere in there,
right?
Only because of your strength of schedule for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why. We do play it's a very tough strength of schedule. So I'm looking at that, and that's why I'm where I'm at right now. But I hope you guys surprise me and do better than even what I'm predicting. So let's do the fun question segment, and then we close it out for today. Favorite athlete in any sport? I can either let Tyler or Casey, either one of you guys can share maybe favorite athlete.
I think mine's still the same from last year. It's still Corey Seager. He won the World Series last year too, so that hasn't changed for me. He's my guy I try to be like the most.
I would honestly say Michael Jordan probably. Just like his mentality that he had just really inspires me, I would say.
Let's say Giannis. Let's see, Giannis Antetokounmpo or Christian Yelich. Those are a couple for me that just I love. Being a Wisconsin sports fan, those are a couple that certainly be up there for me. Favorites TV show to binge watch. This is a tough one.
Yeah, my favorite show on Netflix is probably Money Heist, but that's probably mine.
Mine's probably Stranger Things or Outer Banks.
You guys have probably never seen this one, but Curb Your Enthusiasm. I like that one on HBO Max. And another one that I like that's on Netflix, and you guys probably have heard of this one and probably watch it, All American. I really like that program. That show, it's a really good one. Favorite sports movie of all time? This is a tough one.
Mine's probably 42 Jackie Robinson, that movie. That I used to watch it a lot with my brother when I was younger, and so that's always been my favorite one.
Mine would probably be The Blind Side. I think I've watched that the most out of any sports movies I've watched.
I'll give you guys two. Moneyball, for one, is a really good one with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. And then another one for me that I love is Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington. Those are a couple for me that are, I think those are my two favorite. Favorite place to eat at around Sun Prairie? I'm a big food guy, so.
Yeah, so am I. There's a lot of places I like to go to lunch with my friends. Me and Tyler just went to Baraccho's the other day. I like that. I like Noodles and Company. I like Primo's. I like all those three.
I would probably say Baraccho's is my favorite.
I've lately been going to Forge Kitchen a lot, a new place here in Sun Prairie. I've gone there. I love Mod Pizza. Mooyah. Those are maybe some of the fast food ones that I like around here for sure. Some good ones there. There's a lot of them, but those are a couple. Portillo's too. Love Portillo's on the east side. That's a good one too. Favorite food to eat after a basketball game?
Probably just like a sandwich, I guess. Probably sometimes I have the Chick-Fil-A sandwiches after the game. Those are nice just to get some energy back in your body and protein, just fill you up. Like the smaller snacks don't really do much. I like having a meal after the game.
I would say Chick-Fil-A sandwiches after the game.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Even though I don't play basketball anymore, that's what I would have after a basketball game is
Yeah.
Chick-Fil-A sandwich. So
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. Favorite song genre of music to listen to?
Before games or just in general?
We'll say general. We'll
Yeah.
say general.
You want to go, Tyler?
I would just say rap or like chill rap songs, I guess, for before games.
Yeah, same. I agree with that too. And I also like some country and just like both of those. Good mix, yeah.
I see. I'm kind of old school. I like some of those 70s, 80s, soft rock hits,
Right.
sort of. Like John Mellencamp or Bryan Adams. The Eagles,
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. Some of that older music for me. I like some of that. So that for me, that's kind of what I go to a lot for music. So. Well, that covers everything today for Marc Madness Sports. I'm Marc Carstens, the host of Marc Madness Sports, joined by Casey Wambach, Sun Prairie West football, basketball, and baseball player, and also Tyler Haney, Sun Prairie West football, basketball, and baseball player. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show today, Marc Madness Sports, on a Thursday afternoon, taking your time here at Sun Prairie West High School. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday, and make sure to try Casey and Tyler's favorite post-game food. Go try a Chick-Fil-A sandwich next time you go to a Wolves basketball game. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody. So long for now from Marc Madness Sports.